Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, man. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to Daniel Jeremiah's 2026 NFL mock that he dropped earlier this morning. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because I believe that this is a perfect scenario for the Dallas Cowboys and the fans to possibly think about ahead of the draft that happens in April in Pittsburgh. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video. Subscribe if you're new, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content. Straight into it, man. I'm gonna go over this mock. It's gonna go over 1 through 32 picks. Basically, Daniel Jeremiah. He's a online scout, not online. He's a media scout. I'm sorry, and he is a person that him, Bucky Brooks, Dane Brugler. He's in that ilk where they're all connected with the people in the NFL circles, and they speak with agents, they speak with scouts, they speak with GMs across the league. And sometimes when they post these mocks based off things that they heard across the league. So for me, we're going to hop straight into it. Raiders are going to select Fernando Mendoza. Okay, they needed a quarterback. They need a quarterback that can go in there and change the culture. I don't think they're right now. I don't think they have a house built to have a quarterback, but if they want to take him, no problem. They have a lot of good building blocks like Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty, things like that. Jets, they need as much talent as they did. This is really where the draft really takes off, really, right? So as soon as that first quarterback comes off the board, now let's get into the meat of the draft, right? So you got Arvell Reese, arguably the best player in the draft. He goes off the board, number 2 to the Jets. Spencer Fano out of Utah goes to the Arizona Cardinals. Number 4 goes Francis Magnolia, right tackle from Miami. And this is where everything gets a little bit interesting now at pick 5, where the Giants, they go Mansour Delane. I feel like if the Giants want to go defense, they should go Caleb Downs. But, Giants going to do what they're going to do. And I think Mansour Delane is a really good pick for them. They do need another corner, and they need a really good corner, lockdown corner. But I felt like if the Giants can, they should try and add another wide receiver opposite of Malik Neighbors. But it's fine. Cleveland Browns, they go edge. They go David Bailey. I think they also should get what they should go weapon in this mock draft. They got Harold Fannin Jr., who I liked a lot coming out of Bowling Green. They have a lot of good running backs with Quinshawn Judkins, Dylan Sampson. But I really felt like they need a true wide receiver. I think, again, they could have benefited from a Cardinal Tate, Makai Lemon, or even a Jordan Tyson, but they didn't take him, which I'm surprised as well. So they took, in some people's best edge or second best edge, and David Bailey out of Texas Tech. He's gone. So cool. Numbers pick 7. The Washington Commanders, they take Sonny Styles out of Ohio State. I thought, maybe they probably would have taken Ruben Bain or maybe even a Caleb Downs just because of, his specialty in the secondary. I thought he would have probably taken the best defensive player or the best player off the board, but they didn't. And Daniel Jeremiah's mock, he took Sonny Styles. Not a bad pick. Pick 8, Jeremiah Love. This is now, for me, I want to say the second or third mock that I have seen Jeremiah Love get selected to the Saints. And I think that they are doing that because Alvin Kamara talked about retiring and things of that nature. So I wouldn't be surprised if a really good and clear number 1 back in this year's draft gets taken in the top 10. A lot of times people try to mock these running backs to the Dallas Cowboys, and 9 times out of 10 they don't ever make it to us. So Jeremiah Love being taken by the New Orleans Saints, again, not too much shocking because the Saints, they do stuff like this all the time, but I wouldn't be shocked at all. Number 9 and 10 really shocked me because I think the Kansas City Chiefs could have taken a wide receiver here again. Looking up, the first offensive, or really the first real offensive player outside of offensive lineman being Jeremiah Love, being at pick 8, and the last offensive player was taken at 4. I'm surprised that the Kansas City Chiefs in this mock did not take a wide receiver, but they took Ruben Baines Jr. Again, have somebody opposite of George Karlaftis, and you have Omar Norman Lott when he comes back healthy, and you also have Chris Jones. That's a hell of a front 7 that they have. But man, if they could have had an elite playmaking safety to roam around there with Steve Spagnuolo, and you have basically a super powered version of Tyrann Mathieu and Caleb Downs, I think that would have matched a lot better than an edge, in my opinion. But hey, the Chiefs, they do need pressure, and they did need to get to the quarterback last year. So, number 10, Dramad McCoy goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, they do need defense like Dallas Cowboys of all types. So, I really can't blame them. But I thought they would have probably took the hometown kid, and they would probably would have taken Caleb Downs, but they didn't. So, they went Jamal McCoy, a really good cornerback in my opinion. And then the Miami Dolphins, they took Caleb Downs. I'm again in this mock, I'm very surprised that almost ever since pick 4, all the best defenders went off the board. Both your edges went off the board. Your linebacker one possibly went off the board. Your both corners went off the board, and your safety one went off the board. That is a devastating move for the Dallas Cowboys, especially with Caleb Downs falling down the board and he goes one pick ahead of you. Now, what would I do if I was the Dallas Cowboys in this situation? In my opinion, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, if there isn't a defender that is either ranked, or if I don't have a first round graded player on my board at 12, I'm not going to force a pick at 12. It's something that I would like to do is either trade back, trade the 12th pick for a proven defensive player, maybe like a Max Crosby from the Raiders or something of that magnitude. But if I'm the Dallas Cowboys and if I'm forced to stick and pick at 12 with the way that the previous 11 picks have gone, I would take offense. I know a lot of people will be upset in the comment section, but that's how you end up with Taco Charlton, a Tristan Hill, and that's how you end up with things like that when you're trying to force a pick on the defensive side of the football. I think the Dallas Cowboys, I'm about to show the pick, but the Dallas Cowboys have something they can do similarly to what they did in the 2020 draft at this draft right here. If they have a guy like Jordan Tyson, Makai Lemon, fall to them at pick 12, they can go there and take the best player available and go take Jordan Tyson. But let's go see what they do. They take Colton Hood. Again, I'm not surprised that in these mocks they're having the Dallas Cowboys take defense. I wouldn't be entirely upset, but I would have liked the Dallas Cowboys to pick obviously a better player. I think at pick 12, if I was the Dallas Cowboys, I wouldn't take Colton Hood. If I wanted to take a corner, I would probably take Brandon Cisse from South Carolina, or I would take edge Akeem Messidor. But the fact that he's in his mid 20s and he has 2 foot surgeries that he's had done on him in the past, I think that might be major red flags for the Dallas Cowboys in drafting him. But if I was the Dallas Cowboys, I would have definitely taken a better player, and like again, one of those wide receivers. I probably would have gone offense in this situation, but again, these media scouts, they want to force defense to the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I wouldn't be upset with a Colton Hood, but I would obviously would want either a better defender or just a better player overall, in my opinion. The Rams go Makai Lemon. I know the Rams, they don't have problems defensively too much, but like look what they did with the Rams. They had the Rams draft perfectly in this mock, and they just took them a hell of a fight of a slot dude to pair with Puka, Devontae, and now Makai Lemon. Like, imagine if the Dallas Cowboys, I know how piss poor we are on defense, but I would have loved if we had a Jordan Tyson to add to our room, or even if the Dallas Cowboys can even trade back, pick up day 2 capital to even build the defense in on Friday, and then you still get a really good offensive player or defensive player later in the board. But we'll see. Pick 14, the Ravens, they go the guard from Penn State. So saw a decent pick by them, but I would like for them to even possibly go offense, but who knows. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they get their edge. They get Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M, a really good productive player. I really like him a lot. Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Makes sense for the Jets to build the house, then drop the quarterback possibly in next year's draft class, depending on how things pan out with the picks that they have next year. So that's going to be kind of intriguing for them to have Carnell Tate pair up with Garrett Wilson. That's going to be cool. But again, it's not really be too much fun because they don't have a quarterback there. So the Lions, they'll go Akeem Messidor. They get them a really nice dynamic edge to pair up with Aiden Hutchinson. That's a damn good line front from the Detroit Lions. I like that. Vikings, they go Emmanuel McNeil Warren. They have a really good safety that can pair up with Harrison Smith if Harrison Smith doesn't retire. But even if he does, they have a damn good, really good player in Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I have him going day two, but if he's drafted at pick 18, I wouldn't surprise me. And again, he pairs up with Brian Flores, who got retained by the Minnesota Vikings, so that was a really good pick right there. The Carolina Panthers get Jordan Tyson, pairing with T Mac. That's gonna be a hell of a pairing right there with Jatavion Sanders at tight end. You got Chuba, you got Jonathan Brooks coming back next year. That's a hell of a pick. I really like that pick a lot. Now with the Dallas Cowboys, would you go defender here? Yeah, I probably would. Who would my pick be right here? If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, you took your secondary player in Colton Hood. I wouldn't mind doubling up at corner and seeing if we can get a guy like a Brandon Cisse, uh, probably maybe an Avion Terrell to have in the slot. But maybe you take your linebacker here because at this time really you're having second round graded players anyway. So why not just take you an Anthony Hill Jr. or possibly even a CJ Allen at this point? But let's see what the Dallas Cowboys do at 20. They take Keldrick Falk, defensive end from Auburn. He will be your potential, God rest his soul, and Marshawn Nealon, and also just a D Law type where you have a really stout run defender. Has very limited production at rushing the passer in college, but he'll be a damn good run defender here for you with the Dallas Cowboys. Um, at 20, you can possibly have a conversation with him. If you pick him at 20, I won't be upset. But let's just see who else the Dallas Cowboys passed up on. So looking at the mock, we know that Brandon Cisse didn't get selected by the Dallas Cowboys, but Dallas Cowboys coming with Cole Hood and Keldrick Falk. I wouldn't be too excited night one with those two picks. But again, once the Dallas Cowboys make those actual picks in real life, there's nothing that we can really do. We just have to see, we have to evaluate, see what those guys can bring to the building, and see how they can get better. But let's see who else. Steelers, they took their wide receiver. They got Denzel Boston. Makes sense with them bringing in a guy like Mike McCarthy. They're going to add some firepower to their offense. They had the Chargers, Lee Hunter. The Eagles, they get Avion Terrell to add to their secondary that's already loaded. Browns get Caden Proctor. The Bears get Dylan Thieneman from Oregon. He was a Purdue transfer. Bills get C.J. Allen. Niners get Kenyon Sadiq. Monroe Freeling, I'm not even sure who this is, but the Houston Texans selected him. Blake Miller, the Rams took him. Peter Woods went to Denver. Caleb Lomu went to the Patriots. And Brandon Cisse, a really good corner that I would have possibly a first-round pick on, goes to the Seattle Seahawks. So, again, overall, that was a really good exercise in my opinion. I really like that the Dallas Cowboys were put in that bond by, again, most of their top defenders were gone. The Dallas Cowboys had a stick and pick. If it was up to me and I had to pick at 12 and I couldn't go anywhere, I'm taking Jordan Tyson. If I was at 20 and I couldn't move, I am taking a corner in like Brandon Cisse. But if I'm stuck and I have to pick defenders, pick 12, I probably would have taken either Akeem Essador or Cassius Howell. And then at pick 20, I would have taken Brandon Cisse and I would have moved on with my day and just would have been fine with possibly 2 first-round graded players on my board and just would have lived life like that. But again, let me know what you would have done in those situations. If you had a stick and pick, would you take the best player available or would you just force the pick and take defense? Would you trade back? Those are things that I want you guys to discuss in the comment section. So that's about it for the video. Hopefully you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed.